action. It's all on you now, and just give me some reaction. Just want you, I like the way you move.
Another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obiuchende. Thank you so much for joining us. Interesting week we've had in Nigeria this past week. So much to talk about, but of course, I think the biggest headline has been the fact that the political landscape is shaking seriously. We've had a gale of defections, mostly from the ruling party to the main opposition, the PDP, of course, and amongst other parties. We've had state governors, we've had senators, we've had House of Rep members, and it's been interesting because most people saw this coming, but it still was a big deal when it happened. A lot of the big names haven't yet completely openly said that they'll be moving yet, but I mean, all the signs are there. We've had governors who have publicly said they will be moving soon, but haven't done it yet. We don't know how that works or why that is. But yeah, 2019 is hot in the news already. Mr. President, of course, has officially declared that he'll be running. We do have the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, who has also launched his campaign in Yola, Adamawa State. We have a few other contenders, former Vice President, Deputy Governor of the Central Bank. There's a lot of people in the mix, and we're waiting for a lot more names to be thrown into the hat. And of course, primary season is fast approaching, especially for the two major parties, where most Nigerians, of course, will be picking their president for next year from. And we're going to be talking about a lot of that and all of the things that will be shaping the conversation leading up to 2019. I have here with me Farouk Abbas and Suleiman Kazim. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to be helping me dissect all of this. But for those who are, I don't want to say living under a rock, but I mean, this past week, that's basically been what's in the news. Let's just quickly rehash with this clip what the past week has been like with the defections in the political landscape of Nigeria.
The fact of our party, the All Progressives, is hereby majority faction. We hereby inform the Senate that we, the undersigned, Senator Dine Milai Kogi West, Senator Benade Gebas Ganade Benue State, Senator Ibrahim Dambaba Sokoto State, Senator Shaba Lafaji Kwara North, Senator Mohamed Shitu Jigawa, Senator Rafi Ibrahim Kwara South, Senator Unkui Kaduna North, Senator Isa Haman Bauchi Central, Senator Mosura Sumoni Oyo Central, Senator Shoji Akombi Oyo South, Senator Usman Bayo Nafada Gombe North, Senator Musa Kwankoso Kano Central, Senator Nazif Bauchi North, Senator Alen Wadi Tejoshu Ogun Central, hereby informed that we don't are changing our political affiliation from the All Progressive Congress to the People's Democratic Party. We thank you for your exemplary leadership. As always, yours sincerely. As we speak now, the Deputy Senate President cannot get out of his house. He's under siege. This morning, I could not also in my own street as well, all by efforts by some people that believe that today's sitting must not hold because some members want to move or defect.
All right. Let's probably start on that note now, because I mean, I think that was the first sign of what was to come for a lot of Nigerians, where we saw videos and pictures on social media of the street, the gate, I believe, of the Senate President. You know, there were cars from the police, and we heard that the Senate President was not allowed to leave his house, even though they had summoned him that morning, and it almost seemed like they didn't allow him to even report to the police before laying siege. And then we heard this Deputy Senate President was also held back, and we saw sort of a warrant of arrest for that day as well. And the police, of course, has said they have no idea how that happened or who ordered that. But it's so much happened that day. I don't know if you can put some of it in context for us.
Yes, well, like you say, a one-sided coin is a bad legal tender. And when I saw the report that the Senate President and the DSP's house has been cordoned off by police, I was very shocked. At some point, I felt it wasn't real. But when I saw the video and now hearing what the police have said, that they don't know how that came about and they can't account for those officers that were there, I think it's very unfortunate, and I think it goes to show that our police force don't really know what they are doing, because we all saw the videos. They were not putting on masks. so you can identify them. So even if the IG did not send those police officers there, they should have been able to trace those police officers. I heard that they claimed that some of those officers were on the team of the Senate President's wife or on the Senate President's team. Then they should investigate. They should call them out. They should ask them questions, investigate, and give us a report within 2 days. These are very simple issues. But with what happened to the Deputy Senate President too, and what happened in Benue State, I was watching the news some days ago, and I saw that they didn't allow the State House of Assembly to sit, and police were there. You know, it's very unfortunate. I think our police, they have a lot of activities that they should be focusing their attention on. Going to dabble into politics or trying to restrain officers from going out is very unprofessional. If you invite someone a night before and tell him to come to your office, he has the right not to come. He can write to you. I've done it for a couple of people. You write to them and say, oh, you told me to come tomorrow. I'm sorry, I'm in Abuja at the moment. Can you reschedule my time for me so I can come at another time? So if you give him an invitation at 8 p.m. on Monday to come on 8 a.m. on Tuesday, give him benefit of doubt. If he doesn't even come by 10 o'clock, you can't go and arrest him. You can put a call to him. So it's very unfortunate. I mean, our police, they are not being professional. And it's unfortunate that they could even deny their officers, saying they don't know how those people got there. If you don't know how, why not investigate it and let us know who they are? Let us know if they are on illegal assignments, or it was a comedy or a stage film by the Senate President himself. But saying you don't know how and you just kept quiet and went to sleep is very unfortunate and unprofessional.
How much of an indictment is this on the police in particular? Because a lot of people on social media, as usual, called out the president, and said that this was all his fault. I mean, he doesn't run the police, does he? But at the same time, the police is a part of the executive arm of government, and it's. We did hear the president some time ago say, basically give a negative review of the Inspector General of Police about sending him somewhere, and he didn't even know that he didn't go there to do it. And we still have the same police now with their spokesperson saying they have nothing to do with this. What does that say to you about the police?
To be honest, it's about confidence, because putting all of this that happened together, you get to see that the people are beginning to lose confidence in the police. Now, how do you come out to the public to tell the public that what happened on the day that the Senate was supposed to have the plenary? I mean, it's not being written or screenplayed by some set of people who believe that they can actually use their powers to muscle the Senate President, and of course, the Deputy Senate President as well. So when this happens, it's no doubt that it will reduce the confidence that the people have for the police, and this whole thing comes back to the table, and whereby when the people have lost interest or confidence in the police, of course, it has a very negative effect on the people. Yeah, and of course, on the leadership of the country as a whole. Even when the IG still claims that it doesn't know what actually happened on the day of that scene. Well, how do you tell people that you didn't actually consented to what happened But I think in all of this, it is very political, and it's important for us to make sure that we separate the police from politics. However, it is quite interwoven, and it's almost impossible to separate the police from politics. But we must do everything possible within our arms to make sure that we reduce the interference of the police with national politics. Yeah. Politicians are very funny people. They make use of police, and when all of this go wrong, they just put up a disclaimer that they're not aware of all the wrongs that the police must have done. So I think in its shortest context, I would say that it is wrong and it is unhealthy for our democracy.